It's that time again, it's time to grab our tools and fix what's broken. Let's save money and do it ourselves. Let's save money and do it ourselves.
Welcome to another Garage Time with Goody. And today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to try for the very first time to plastic weld. What is plastic welding? It is where you take tools such as a plastic welder, or in my case, I actually have a combo hot air gun and a solder gun. And you can take a hot air gun and weld plastic together, or even a regular soldering iron to meld plastic together. Now, a lot of people meld plastics for different reasons. Anything that's plastic, and especially anything that's plastic on a car. And what I'm going to be doing today is the inner tabs on a bumper on a Dodge Avenger. Someone drove this Dodge Journey in a parking spot and they pulled up to the curb too close and it hit the bumper. The bumper came off and it broke the inner bumper tabs. In fact, you'll see in the video what I'm talking about. And some of the tools you need, if you already have a soldering iron or a hot air gun, you can go ahead and use those tools. Some other tools I'm going to be using is an old toothbrush, some scissors, a spreader, precision tool. It's to spread the welding sticks and the plastic as it melts into place. I have a metal platform that lets the plastic set into place. I have some metal meshes that is going to melt and integrate into the plastic to make it a stronger structure. I have some plastic weld tubes. These are kind of like humongous glue sticks, only they're made out of plastic. I have some metal clips that go over the bumper that's going to hold the metal platform into place. And lastly, I have a Dremel tool so that I can sand down and do all the grinding and everything onto the plastic that I need to do. Now, I will put a list to all of these tools in the video description box. Now, if you were to get this done at a garage or a body shop, they would charge quite a bit. I've seen people say anywhere from $300 all the way up to $1,300. And, you know, they're very professional at it. But I just think that it's ridiculous, and I have seen ways that it can be done a lot cheaper. And that's what I'm going to attempt today. Now, this is going to be my first time attempting this. And, you know, I'll be straightforward with you. It might not look the prettiest, or it might not look the best. My goal in the end is to fix my bumper, that it is attached to the car once again, and that it is all functional. It doesn't have to look pretty to me. Another very important thing to understand when you're plastic welding, a lot of people will take like zip ties and use that for a welding rod, you know, a welding stick for plastic instead of the plastic welding sticks. That is a no-no. If you look on the back of a car bumper, usually right in the center, usually it will tell you in 2 letters what kind of plastic that the bumper is made of. And in my case, it has 2 P's, which stand for polypropylene. Polypropylene. And the reason why you want to get an exact match of plastic is because you want them to bond together when you're doing the plastic welding. If you get 2 different kinds of plastic, like somebody says, oh, I'm going to take a DVD case or zip ties, or, you know, just any kind of plastic off of something, and you weld them and bond them together, there is a big chance that they may not bond together, or the bond may not last very long and it'll just fall apart. So you do want to make sure that you get the right kind of plastic to melt and to bond together when doing this project. Well, with that being said, let's get started. To another Garage Time with Goody. Have you ever had any broken tabs on the side of your bumper? These tabs right here are not broken, but on the opposite side, these tabs are broken, and today I'm going to show you a way of how you can fix these broken tabs on your bumper. Now, I showed you the middle part of the bumper where you can look up what kind of plastic that you're going to need in your welding rods. Now, the reason why you need a certain kind of plastic, because you're going to want to match the plastic to this bumper. Because if you don't, I've seen a lot of people use like zip ties and just plastic they have lying around the house, and it won't bond very well or last very long if it's the wrong kind of plastic. I got the right kind of welding rods. It's going to make a permanent lasting bond here. So like I said, the first thing I'm doing with these tabs is I'm just cleaning the surface all around, underneath. I'm going to get it as clean as I can. I'm using isopropyl alcohol. So I'm going to do this over this way. I'm going to clean out the debris and sand that down with a sanding bit. So what I have done so far, I have used a carbide to cut about halfway through this plastic. That way when I solder the plastic rods in, it will at least halfway down with this bumper, pretty good ways down, and it'll be able to bite to the bumper. I want to remove all the debris that I can. Clean this up here. Remember, the depth that I have cut down to is about halfway through this plastic, and that will let the plastic rods integrate with this plastic at a pretty good depth, you know, halfway down. Clean this with isopropyl alcohol and an old toothbrush. Clean this pretty good and remove all the debris that the Dremel tool may leave behind. Get this surface as clean as you can. What I have now is a metal blade that's going to lay underneath here. This is what is going to hold the plastic into place while I weld it. And I have these clips that is going to hold this onto the bumper. Again, I will put a link in the video description to the tools that I'm using. And what I have here is a soldering station hot air gun combo. I'm going to set this hot air gun to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we're going to go down here and we're going to do some welding. You might just want to be careful. It might take a few minutes. I'm going to use that tool to smash it into place. It's kind of like a little metal spatula. I want to give this a second to cool back down. See, I'm going to smooth this into the plastic of the bumper. This may take a couple of minutes, but you just smooth it in like this, like so. You can just push that down, smooth it out. Now we're going to be going back over this with possibly a utility knife if we need to change it any. And we're going to let this melt right into the bumper. Now we're going to let that cool down. I'm going to take these off. And we're going to go down to the next one. The next one is going to be easier because it's just straight across here, right above the welding stick. I'm going to take my metal small spatula and I'm going to start kind of smashing it down a little bit into that plastic. Let this kind of go on over here. This is just to get it attached. We're going to get it more exact with a utility knife when we're done. Middle one done. I'm gonna let those cool for a minute. One of the important things you want to do as you're doing this, you're gonna want to get the bumper around where the original tabs were hot enough to where you can mix the original plastic with the melting rods. This is after you let it set and you're going back over it a little bit. So I'm getting the bumper hot enough. In this case, you can see the black plastic. The plastic's going to be black underneath it here. I'm going to mix the original plastic with the melting rods. And I'm going to be using a utility blade to cut in the tabs here where the tabs go. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use this, and this is a metal mesh, and it's going to make the plastic stronger. You just lay it up here and you see how much you need, and then you just use a pair of scissors and cut it out. And I'm going to do this for each spot. So I'm going to heat this up first, and I'm going to let it melt down into here. And then I'm going to put that second layer of plastic welding stick over it. You want to see the original plastic from the bumper come up through the holes of the grate of the metal. That means it is attaching. And you'll want to spread that out and attach it all the way across. All right, now I'm going to go back over this. Now I'm going to bridge this last spot here. This doesn't look the prettiest, but as you can see, I have the metal mesh and I have 2 layers of plastic. As you can see, I have the metal mesh to make it stronger. I have plastic welding rods right here. See, I used a drill to go through right here to make these tabs open up. And then I did run the sander over it. So this is what it looks like. And you can see it's very strong now. And might not look pretty. I could have made it look better, but it's going to be up and out of the way anyway. So this is just a fast fix and a permanent fix at that, because it's pretty sturdy. If you're wondering how it turned out, I'll show you a few seconds of what it looks like with the bumper attached back to the car. In my opinion, I think it looks fine. Until next time, smash that like button, and I will see you later.